Well, welcome back to Rugby Town, USA. It's the HSBC USA Women's Sevens from Infinity Park in Glendale, Colorado, and that has put on an absolute stunner of a day. Now let's look at last year's points table, where the Australians were #1 in the hood with 92 points. New Zealand, France, the best ever finish in the third. The Canadians took up fourth, in the home team, the USA, in fifth position. Now in Pool A, we've had one game each in our pools, and it started off with Australia with a dominant win, 53 points. The Russians getting through at the moment in second position. Spain and Mexico, the invitational team, in fourth. Now Pool B saw New Zealand with a good win as well against China. England had a tough win against the home team first up, against USA taking in the second position and USA third. And lastly, we go to Pool C with the Canadians, who we'll see in a moment, top the pool with one win. France looking very good against Ireland, and then Fiji round out that side. Now player tracker, this tells us about the involvement of players across the park after the first round with tackles, offloads, carries. And Emma Nguyen is at the top from England. Amadi, who was huge for the French. Gruen, who was good as well, so two French. Mulhall from Ireland, and Scarrett from Northern Hemisphere dominating the player tracker so far. Now, to start our second session, it's Pool C, Canada taking on Ireland. I'm Carl Tanana. I'm glad to be joined them, my former superstar of Canadian rugby, Andrea Burke. Stop laughing at me, Andrew, but just take us through this Canadian team. I know you really rate them.
All right, we got Kayla Molesky, Carolyn Crossley, Bianca Farella, going with Brittany Ben, Julia Greenchilds, Captain Ghislaine Landry, and Kaylee Lucan with the speed on the wing.
Yeah, heavily loaded up on experience here. Canadians, Ireland, Balls, Baxter, Fitzhenry, Flood, Murphy, Crow, Doyle, and the captain Mulhall rounds out their starting seven for this one.
We've got a big matchup here, KT. Canada did not finish the last season the way that they wanted. Ireland is only getting stronger, and today's anybody's game. I think if Canada can bring what they brought against Fiji, they'll be able to neutralize the up-and-coming Irish side.
Now just tell me, how hard is it, Andrew? You got that first game under your belt, you're into the tournament now, so this one you're expecting the combination to be a little bit better.
Yeah, I think Canada's got to be really happy with their showing. The veteran players were really solid with some great vision. However, they have been upset by Ireland before, and Ireland upset against France. I think they're going to be ready, chomping at the bit. Canada can't rest on their laurels on the win that they had against Fiji, and Ireland is not giving up.
Yeah, Konnichiwa to Sakurako Kawasaki, our referee in charge of this one. Looks like Ireland are going to be first to kick off left to right. Conditions absolutely perfect. There is a little bit of a breeze running left to right, as we see it on the screen. The sun right over the top of the head of the team, so tripping so much is an issue from the first game. Who for the Canadian team should we look out for?
I think Ghislaine Landry, when she is on her game, she brings the vision, she brings the stability that the rest of her teams can really feed off of. Been really impressed with Kaylee Lucan so far today as well in her game against Fiji.
Yeah, Landry not far from one of the most outstanding milestones you'll see. What a kickoff for a session. Didn't go to 10, unfortunately. I thought that was okay.
10. Beautiful aerial skills there with a huge reach from Carolyn Crossley. She actually had to reach across the 10-meter line to pull that ball back.
Canada very good across the face of the defence of the Ireland team. Were very good in that department in game one. Didn't get the win, though. The Irish looking for the W on this occasion, but it's going to be a tough ask against a very staunch Canadian team, taken up by the captain Landry. Good set now, they take their time.
Okay, please.
No sweeper for this Irish team, so 7 up in the line, going to be very tough to breach, but a strong runner. There's Farella. Farella's going to go through. Pretty average defence after talking them up there, Ireland. They'll be disappointed at that, but who won't be disappointed is the number 8, Bianca Farella.
Well, that was what Bianca Farella does best. She just takes a little bit of a Y line and slices it up. And all it is was one pass off of the back of the ruck. She keeps her feet and just puts the pedal to the metal. Hard to stop a big, fast body like Farella.
You can see here, one player down the bottom, one over the top, but still didn't matter, did it, whatsoever. Very strong through the hips. Absolutely.
A player like Farella, the Irish team really needs to drop the shoulder on her. There's too much standing up, too much grasping at the top jersey, and that's exactly how tackles get missed and tries get scored in sevens.
Conversion done by Landry, not far away. 3 points, and she will be at 1,000. First ever to reach that mark, all-time point scorer, the leader. No one more deserving than Jacine Landry, but she knows there's still a job to do. Kick off. Inch perfect from Landry. Oh, wow. That's a nice take from Crossley, picking it back. Oh, that's brilliant stuff.
And why not go back to Crossley? She has been 2 for 2 on those gorgeous high kicks today.
Landry's the one that gave it to, now Perella's the one that got the first try. Again on the outside, holds the ball in 2 hands, takes out the defenders. Nice evasive skills there by Greenshields.
Stay.
Perella at the base, delivers a nice pass. Lucan now with the late switch. Crossley with the setup. They're coming around the corner. Other Canadians setting up the play, no release here, so there's going to be another penalty. Slow it down time now, just reset, no need to rush.
Nope, catch their breath, get settled, no need to make any unforced errors.
Oh, well, that's just way too easy. Greenshields just slices through, does the number 5. I spoke about the Irish defence being good in the first game, but look tired. That's 2 missed tackles, 2 blatant ones.
Well, number 5, Julia Greenshield, she almost looks like she's floating, as like her little twinkle toes, her feet barely touch the ground. That's how she gets such a quick turnover. And that change of direction just took, the defense was going one way, and then it forced the defense to reach and just out of her grasp to make that tackle.
What did you expect? 9.99 for Jacine Landry. I'm sure she'll surpass that, but can't take away from what, as you said, a beautiful run from Julia Greenshields. You're right, though, she runs across the deck quite lightly, doesn't she, but very quick.
I would say Julia Greenshields is probably one of the fastest on the Canadian side right now.
Let us kick up a little bit longer. Taken in the air, Crossley.
No, it's fine.
Cool, fair play.
Are you happy? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, me too.
First time the Irish have really had the ball, and nearly 3.5 minutes gone already.
And this is classic of a Canadian-Ireland matchup.
Sorry,
whoever tends to have the ball seems to be putting in the tries, which we saw in the 2017-2018 series. And Ireland hasn't quite had the ball yet. I think Canada has to be wary when they do, because this is where Ireland has been dangerous against them in the previous games.
The throw-in has to be sharp here, and it is nicely taken by Ashley Baxter. Atamaho with a nice step, taken down. Quick ball as well. They like to bounce back the blind to the Irish with the late cut.
Too high.
Advantage penalty for the Irish. Now do they tap and go and keep the momentum, or do you go the sideline and form your line out?
Yeah, just coming around here with a big bear hug tackle there from Canada. A little bit high, of course. Referees, match officials are looking to keep those tackles down. Safety first is paramount on the field.
Yeah, rightly so too. It's getting a little bit wrong technique-wise, but that girl just so integral. As always, Lucy Mulhall for the Irish team will go into the first receiver role. Very good the last time, the Irish with their line out.
Bit by bit, they're just pushing the Canadian defensive line back down the field.
Go back to the 9-metre mark where it's taken again beautifully by Baxter. Mulhall with a step, she goes there again. Desperate defence. Good tackle by Greenshields, otherwise Mulhall was gone. They're just probing at the moment, aren't they, this Irish team? Another hit up by Aoife Doyle. Now they look to go wide. Another stop and go. Thought she might give it on the outside to Murphy Crow with a bit more space. Not much doing there, so defence solid so far. Lucan with the tackle. Short line given by Ireland, but Brittany Benn puts another shot on. For the left-hand side of the field to go. Not given, though. The strong right hand and the dive by Stacey Flood. Exactly what you're talking about, Andrea Burt. Whoever has the ball in possession seems to get points.
I think both teams attack with such fervor and aggression that it's really demanding a lot of the defensive team to get the tackles to the ground. Ireland doing a great job of keeping their feet in contact, driving forward, and there it is. They're awarded with a try and narrowing the gap.
What's interesting to see, though, you can see Ireland playing the pace, very slow going to the set piece, whereas Canada want to play it fast.
Okay, time back.
Canada has speed. Canada definitely has speed on as one of their tools in their belt. I think for Ireland, pace for pace, do they match Canada's speed? I don't know, but I think they do have a quick reaction on the ball, and they're really gritty. They're not going to shy away. We saw the Mulhall match up against Green Shields, two formidable players going up against each other.
See there, Stacey Flood just taking the rest there. As Coach Anthony Eddy rotates his subs, it is getting very warm. Just past 1:30 in the afternoon local time here in Denver. Remember, we are at altitude, so substitutes are going to be at a premium. Mulhall with a nice kick, but equally gobbled up there by Brittany Benn. Versatile player, Brittany Benn can play in the forwards or back. Pressure at the breakdown from Ireland. Good work. I think it was Heffernan on this occasion. There goes the hooter for half-time now. Can Ireland get their second try of the game? No one in behind. Sweeping for Canada. They get it across line. Now here's the lady to watch. Ashley Murphy-Crowe takes it in. Oh, an offload of 50-50, but picked up by Lucy Mulhall. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but on this occasion it does for Ireland. Second try, Lucy Mulhall for Ireland.
Well, that is just fantastic support. We have just a poor offload to ground, but Mulhall coming into support with speed, and she could not have timed that pickup any better.
Well, this might have come at a huge cost for the Ireland team, because Amy Murphy-Crowe is not very well. Conversion, not good. But a great comeback here from this Irish team after the hooter. It is half-time in this one, but the Canadians will take a slim lead into the half, 14 points to 12.
Just a late try like that, KT, it just breathes energy, breathes life back into the teams on the field. And at this point, Canada knows they cannot rest because Ireland has all the momentum on their half.
Control the ball against them. Girls really so for 2 good possessions, put them under pressure, win the advantage. The speed of this side was really good. It's got to keep that same focus in that attack. The other side, though, you've got to dominate our defence, we've got to make our tackles, we've got to work harder and together in our defensive line. Okay? We have good pressure here around the ruck, good stop, good job, half right. So let's make sure we're in a position to put in pressure all the time. Someone's in on the ball and making a contest, slowing the ball down. Everyone else is spinning the ruck. Everyone else then's got spacing, okay? Then we get up and make our tackles. Want to win the advantage line around our defence, okay? Kick off the seat. So have you go to where Stacey was, all right? Let's make sure we win this ball, girls. We control the possession, dominate this second half. Field position and possession.
We hold the ball, girls. It's top D, we're going to compress. Then when the point comes, we call jam, and that's when everyone just goes up. We can't have the people going through the line, yeah? Doesn't matter if there's one extra on the outside, we're just going to come up on the fence and hit them backwards. Ready? Team on 3, 1, 2, 3, team! Great job, ladies. Let's go, girls.
Well, the Irish coach there is saying to keep a high pressure at the ruck. They cannot let Canada play, because when Canada's playing, that is when they've been able to put 14 points on the board. More importantly for the Irish side, it's field position and possession. There's no magic formula to rugby sevens. I think any team, field possession and possession is going to give them the upper hand.
Second half. Ready.
Breaking it all down for us, former Canadian international Andrea Burke. Great insight given here as Canada get us restarted for the second half. Ireland on the wave of momentum at the moment. Good set up deep in their own half. Not looking to rush. They've used players to try and set up these rucks quite handily, but over the ball is Brittany Benn, and she's going to get the turnover. Well done by the number 1. Quick tap taken by Farella. Lucan with a nice injection. Hands it off to her captain. Landry now sets it up. Williams onto the field. Nice defense again by Ireland. Up nice and quick. Great line speed. Just slowing that ball down. Variation on the pass from Canada. Brittany Benn with the late cut with Moleski.
Offside.
A little bit too aggressive there by the Irish defense, getting the offside call.
Here.
2-point lead for the Canadians. Just going to settle play down here. I think this is the smart move. But this is where the indiscretion started.
Excellent counter up there by Captain Ghislaine Laundrie. I find that Ireland is really trying to smother the ball. Getting two people in the tackle is just completely shutting down Canada's offload and keeping the ball alive game.
Brittany Benn now first touch with ball in hand with a bit of space. They've got the penalty advantage again. Offside defense. Nice pick up by Williams. Space on the outside. She gives the ball inside pass again. Using the numbers strong with the headers. Crossley. She's been a physical presence in this game. Great counter ruck from Ireland though. Picked up by Landry. And here's going to be the third try for the Canadians, and it's going to be Carly Lucan. She's had to work hard in this game.
Excellent try here by Canada. Callie Lucan just is able to dot it down in the end zone. They're playing around with the ball a little bit in a three, creating the 3-on-2. But again, this comes down to support. Ireland had a try earlier from team support, and Canada has now been able to do the same thing.
Now this might be history in the making here for Ghislaine Landry. Not to be yet. Have to wait a little bit longer. Couldn't convert the try. I'm sure that's at the football most of her mind. Get the win first. Still only a 7-point game.
I'd be surprised if she knew that she was sitting at 999 points. On a personal note, Ghislaine is such a selfless player on the field. She's so focused as to like what it is about the game, not about the personal scoring records.
Don't lie, we all know.
Okay.
Oh, went to 10, beautiful from Landry. That's inch perfect, and again, Crossley dominant at the restart. Everything's starting to roll now for the Canadians, looking very good in their setup, strong over the ball. Charity Williams, when they go around the corner, Williams is not needed because Brianne Nicholas, with a strong run, did some good work coming from the open side into the blinds and creating the numbers. Well done.
That was a great read off the back of the ruck, playing it to the short side. Brianne Nicholas almost just comes out of nowhere, completely surprising the Irish defense. Nicholas, even though she's one of the younger players on the team, she is no stranger to playing on the HSBC Women's 7 Series. Her grit and her speed is something that Coach John Tate really likes from her, and she's always able to inject a little bit of something into the Canadian side.
I think it's a good word you used right then, was a great example of it. She injected herself, got right past the defence with that speed you spoke about. I'm sure her coach will be very happy. Especially coming off the bench and making an impact like that.
Time back home.
They've got a couple of the bigger, stronger players coming on now. Sarah Kaljuvi, number 7, and Pam Buisa, number 12.
Well, Buisa straight into the action. Oh, just at the last, they knocked that on, unfortunately.
Knock on.
They've been so good in the area of this game, though. And unfortunately, the Irish team have no possession because they can't get restarts like this clean.
Well, Canada in the last year, in the 2017-2018 series, had a number of errors that were quite crucial off of kickoff, so it does not surprise me that they've come into the 2018 season having cleaned that up.
Still a long way to go in this game, though, so Ireland now, the opportunity once again will go into the midfield across the park, and is there going to be a yellow card? Here's the moment. Brittany Benn doesn't even wait for referee, give her the yellow card. She knows he threw their hand up, so now numerical advantage for the Irish. 2 minutes to go. So basically, the Canadians will be defending with 6 players for the rest of this game. Now Ireland, dummy and go. Oh, the loose pass, but it's taken just. They can't hold her up, the Irish team. Good at the breakdown, cleared by Mulhall. They've got numbers if they shift it, going to crossfield. Run the space out of the last member. Flynn was waiting for the ball. Oh, and that's a great steal by Kaljubi.
Just the chance that Canada needed. They need to slow this down now. They have a 12-point lead with 1.5 minutes left. We know how dangerous Ireland can be with ball in hand, especially against 6 defenders.
Yeah, smart play just to take it to the line out. Brianne Nicholas. We have some subs coming on for Ireland. Bianca Farrell is going to be in the centre position. Do they go that fast? She's a strong runner, can break a tackle. Under duress is Buisa, but she takes it nicely. Kaljubi with a nice determined run.
No, dangerous. Yeah.
And again, smart play by Canada. Slow it down, go to the line out.
Pull down.
Referee Kawasaki is saying those dangerous play off the line out, getting pulled down. And again, another break for Canada, just squeaking away the seconds on this yellow card.
It's just smart play, isn't it, from this Canadian team? Remember, down to 6 women with the yellow card. Timing has to be good, and it is. Buisa again coming on and doing a job for her coach and the forwards. Rushing up, but nice step by Lucan. Just can't get their hands on the ball at all, Ireland, unfortunately. Same thing as the previous lineup.
Sorry. Marcus here.
Well, Charity Williams is the one getting boosted in the air, and I have to say, under that level of pressure, she has done a fantastic job to get both hands on it and really squeeze the ball tight.
Be careful. Cool down.
Do you think that call is coming in from the AR or from the referee on the field?
No, I think Kawasaki there was saying. See, and there it is. All they need to do is retain possession, kick it out. In this game, Ireland can't win. 2-score game. Strong run by Buisa there. Charity Williams has a little look, knocks it on. That's going to be game over, but mission done. They'll take the win. Another hard-fought one. Ireland just couldn't get their hands on possession in that second half. Had it tight for a while. But a good squad effort there. The bench coming on and finishing off the job for the Canadians. They'll take 2 from 2. Full time is 24-12.
Nice, classy play from Amidi.
Montserrat Amidi touches down. It's all too easy for France.
Amidi does it again, gets on the scoreboard.
Amidi looking to finish with Le Flourish, and she does.
Montserrat Amidi in for France again.
An excellent finish. Usually she's the playmaker. Here, she's the finisher.
Infinity Park, Glendale, Colorado, and the home of the HSBC USA Women's Sevens. Rugby Town, USA, and ready for another Pool C showdown between France and Fiji. France victorious in its opening match over Ireland 21-12. Fiji fell to Canada 26-17. You see the starting lineups for the respective squads. They are in the tunnel, getting ready to come out. And very excited, Bill Seward, to be alongside Tiana Penatani, the former phenom on the sevens for Australia. Amazing. You started your career at age 17. You're up here in the broadcast booth. You've seen this tour over the last couple years, the way that it has just amazingly, every year almost, ascended up, 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 higher and higher.
Yeah, that's right. The level of competition over the last couple of years has tremendously increased. And you look at the likes of France, who used to be around the middle of the pool, who had their most successful year last year, finishing 3rd underneath Australia and New Zealand. And just the likes of women's rugby all over the world, how quickly it has grown over the past few years is phenomenal, and it's awesome to see. And
what a job France did at the recently completed World Cup Sevens in San Francisco. As they made it into the final contest, they did run into a buzzsaw known as New Zealand. and lost 29-0, but to finish second in that prestigious event, really something for the program.
Yeah, I think it was a win-win there for France, finishing second to New Zealand. No, they didn't win the final, but it was such a tremendous effort for them to even make that final at that level of competition. So a massive year for them last year, or last season, and they've obviously hit the ground running with this season with a comprehensive win over Ireland in the first pool games this morning.
England's Sarah Cox has the whistle, and it will be Fiji in white kicking to France in blue. Do you notice how I said in blue? And Rokuano putting a foot to it, and down it comes to Fanny Orta. And Orta, who had been the captain for so long for France, has been replaced by Montserrat Amadi wearing the 5, but off and running is Lena Guerin. And Lena Guerin, has she got enough to get there? Guerin in another gear and in.
Lena Guerin, she's one of the strongest finishers here for France. And her third try this weekend, she scored a double in the first match around the outside, as we see here, and she just pips Naina Baletha, wearing the number 11 jersey for Fiji. Now, she is not slow, so that just speaks volumes, the fact that Lena Guerin, sitting in second gear, cruised around the outside to get the first 5 points here for France.
And the conversion on through, and a 7-0 lead for France. Guerin with 3 tries at the World Cup Sevens, also a participant in the Rio Olympics, made her debut in China on this tour in 2014. And loping back to her position on the restart. And a 7-0 lead for France on Fiji. This one to be followed by the United States and China, and then New Zealand and England to go at it. As first real possession for Fiji, and the flick backward by Radinyavani is off the mark and ever closer toward the try line, and the tackling without a ball actually being there, and off and running the queen of the offload.
Just from them, and then
tossing that one high was Nangato, and Letitia, maybe not her best effort of the day, but the knock-on will send it to a scrum, and France will get it on the lineup.
Some great defensive effort there from France off that kickoff, pinning Fiji down, and they just dodged a bullet there, getting that turnover from the knock-on, but just an unforced error here with the offload.
Set.
Fiji a little early push maybe from this angle.
Wait, and then you don't walk backwards, okay?
Sarah Cox, once again, you're a referee, you're a teacher, you're just trying to keep everything balanced, and didn't want Marjorie Mayans given too easy, and didn't want Fiji pushing too early. Out it comes, Amadi trying to circle the corner, looks at Guerin for a second. Back to Mayans, and to the far side, and on the motor is Druin, and into the corner, and France is going to get its second score, circling around and putting it down.
5. Please don't push me, okay?
And Shannon Izar, 2 times a World Cup Sevens participant and the leading tackler in the tournament, the World Cup Sevens this year, with 20 takedowns.
A beautiful finish there around the outside for Shannon Izar. She's got a 7s and 15s background, lots of experience under her belt with 15 tournaments on the HSBC World Series, but it all came from the work. It was the work through the middle players. It was a very well-constructed team try, just through the hands, simple catch pass skill that was executed really nicely. So a great finish there for Izar.
We talked a little bit about this earlier, Andrea and I, but the altitude for some of these players. I mean, when you're coming from, say, Fiji, and the island's fairly flat. Yeah, there's a couple hills and stuff, but you don't get any idea what you're getting into when you walk into a mile high in Colorado.
No, definitely not, especially for the teams that haven't acclimatized. It'll be a rude shock to the system.
And you can hear them off the referee's mic. It sounds a little bit like a horse race going there. There's some heavy breathing going on, and trying to get that oxygen are the athletes, as Nangato goes the right side, the takedown, and does she have anybody to help her out? No. And bouncing off the ground, got to her feet and picked up the ball, and Decent fend on the far side, and the flick back by Naina. And the turnover goes to France as they kick and chase, and the chase is on. Montserrat Amadi, can she fall on that one? Yes, that's easy hands for a try for the French captain.
There's a big captain's play there from Montserrat Amadi. We saw her highlights from last season before this match. She's one phenomenal athlete, very well-rounded, loves to put the ball on the boot, and we see it just sits perfectly up in goal there for her. She scored 19 tries last season, 25 clean breaks, which was the most for France. So you just go to see the work rate from this woman is excellent. And she showcases that talent.
And at 22 years of age, and the captaincy for France, and things are looking good down the road for Montserrat Amadi. You could tell, though, when she took off after that loose ball that she was a little winded. There wasn't a great deal of bend in the legs and going after it. It was kind of that long loping stride to get there. On the restart, France now out in front, 17-0. Fiji really hasn't been able to build anything up and get past halfway, and the French coming back as Mayans works it off to Nason, and then coming around for France, and the score. Caroline Drouin, the 22-year-old, plays some 15s, was in the Six Nations for France, and gets the try to push them in front, 22-0.
And as we saw in the second try in this match, it's just basic catch-pass skills through the hands on that left edge that seems to be really annihilating Fiji here in this first half.
No doubt about the conversion. That hammered through. And a good look at Drouin. Made her debut in Japan in 2017. Played in the World Cup Sevens and the Women's Rugby World Cup in 2017. And battled through on the Six Nations this last go-round. On the restart, nobody can get that as Mayans hits the turf, was in contention with Nangado. It bounces to touch, and you hear the horn for the first half. We'll see if they keep this one going. It appears they will have a line out on the far side. So the clock's out, the final play of the first half, and not cleanly taken, but still kept by Fiji. Nice spin and run by Laudra. Trying to get to a corner and can't quite. Now the numbers favoring France defensively over there, and the rip away by Lena Guerin. Back it comes. Amadi to turf. And a big upending. Drouin now trying to clean it up is Fanny Orta, and Orta goes left side to Shannon Izar. And back it comes to Mayans, and they were playing the advantage, so the penalty will come back to right around the 22 on a high tackle.
They did well to stay patient there, the French team. They know that Fiji, once they start to get on the back foot, they can force some errors by ill discipline. So that was a good observation there from France.
Mayans to Orta. Orta has Guerin outside. Lena, double step, and then back inside, and the takedown. She's going to need some help there, and Fiji trying to hop in there, but France keeps it alive. Recycling to Montserrat. The cutout pass deep to the outside, into the corner goes Shannon Izar, and a score for France.
An awesome little steal here, which is what set up this last try. And the strength there in contact. You can't go high against a side like France, But here's the money ball from Amedee Montserrat to hit Shannon Izar and close out this second half. Some beautiful skill there from Amedee Montserrat.
And the conversion attempt on through, and a 31-0 lead. France at the intermission. And David Cortex in his 4th year at the helm of the French, their best finish in the series, coming this last season as they finished 3rd and then parlayed that into a runner-up spot at the World Cup Sevens. Into the huddle we go with Coach David.
Les filles, franchement, on a besoin de quoi de continuer ça. Pas plus, pas plus. Voilà.
L'enchaînement, c'est ça.
Défensivement, franchement, ce qu'on fait, c'est bien. Gardons bien nos appuis, avançons en mur. Le chat, là-bas, sur les mains, avançons en mur. Et connectés sur les coups dans les doigts. Connectés, restez ensemble, un mur, une légère épaule externe, on les pousse, on avance. Et puis après, au ballon, comme l'a fait Marjo, on les fout au sol. Vous voyez, elles sont très loin dans les contacts. D'accord, juste ça. Et après, offensivement, n'hésitons pas à les étirer et éventuellement ressortir. Si un couloir s'engage, soit on y va vraiment, on fait l'effort, on aura plus de récup après. Soit il y a un mur et on ressort comme vous l'avez fait. Au pire, on a toujours la solution d'engager un tout petit couloir comme tu l'as fait sur le premier et d'aller jouer ailleurs. D'accord? Dernière chose, il faut qu'on sorte des cadrages. Juste ça, vous avez vu, elles sont souvent en ligne à 7. Donc où on enclenche, où on sort des cadrages et ça devient tout ça. Okay, c'est bon?
Yes, pareil. Les filles, il faut valider. 7 minutes de plus, c'est que du bonheur. Il faut enfoncer encore. Sur les ballons récupérés, on a du mal à la portance de balle, elle ne peut pas partir droite-gauche. Il faut qu'il y ait une proposition avec une fille avec de la vitesse. C'est ce que tu disais, Jean. On s'aménage du confort quand même. Allez. C'est ça. Allez, bleu, allez.
You heard the coach, David Cortex. You heard the captain, Montserrat Amedee, and some other voices. And I know there was Allez Bleu at the end, but I'm leaving it up to you.
I don't know how good your French is, but mine's terrible. No, they look very cool, calm, and collected, the French do. And just looking at their stats there, 4 line breaks. They're capitalizing off their line breaks. 15 completed passes as opposed to Fiji's 7. You can just see in the stats there, really reflects the scoreboard.
The kick going deep, but kept in nicely by Drouin, and France on the motor. Stepping aside was Amedee. Izar spins it outside to Lena Guerin. Guerin reversing. Guerin, a short tackle there by the Fijians.
Come back.
The turnover. And now Fiji with a chance. And not cleanly passing it around, but keeping it alive is Balitha Naina. And she's kind of a big unit going to the left side, and she's just going to slowly pass Carla Neeson and make it the first score on this match for Fiji.
A great impact here for Naina Balitha. This is her 2nd tournament, so she doesn't have much experience, but that definitely doesn't reflect off the back of that performance there. A big 60-meter run to get Fiji's first points on the board. It's nice to see her get in space and stretch the legs, Naina Balitha.
And so with 5.5 to go, it is France with a 31-5 lead. Balitha with the try, had one against Canada. Only played in one event last season, and that was in Sydney.
Okay. Time back on. Take the kick. Take the kick.
And ready for the restart. Staying loose and moving around, Caroline Drouin, and Drouin draws a trio of Fiji defenders. Back it goes the other way to Orta. Fanny Orta at halfway, and Fanny Orta has a flying Chloe Pell, and Pell in turn will give it off to And Cecile Tiafani. And she waits a second, then touches it down under the post, and yet another try for France as they move out in front, 36-5.
Tiafani, one of the best finishers for this French lineup, but a beautiful ball from the inside players there, just to put Tiafani in space, and once she's in space, there's no stopping her.
Amadi with the conversion, and Tiafani, who was part of that Rugby World Cup Sevens contingent and had some excellent days on the turf at AT&T Park in San Francisco. And the restart sort of batted around and uncleanly, and it'll come out to halfway, and Fiji will have possession. Getting set to go, Merlua Turudi, the 30-year-old, one of the 2 World Cup Sevens members, along with Naimasi. And Fiji, as Fiji does every once in a while, playing it very fast and loose on the passes, and if they hit them, you're in trouble defensively. And a step through, and away goes Solokavidi, Vasidi Solokavidi, under the posts and the put down.
It was a strong run there for Vasidi Solokavidi to get her first try for this weekend. As we can see, she took it around the outside, saw that one of the French defenders had overcommitted, used her right foot, stepped off it inside in between the 2 defenders, and shimmied her way through that space. It was nice to see the Fijians hold on to the ball for a phase and to complete their attacking sets. They haven't done that much completion throughout this match in particular, playing their park-style footy as they do with lots of offloads, but it hasn't paid off for them, losing the ball every now and then.
Time back on. Please be aware of time.
Just over 2 minutes to go, and a 38-12 lead for France. And on the restart, Nason can't come up with it, and off it goes as they try to wing it back the other way, off the mark for Drouin. And a big tackle takedown. I'm not sure if that's something you want to do too often, but the Solokavidi, the try scorer, very aggressive in there. They go right side. And Chiafani, she can run all day her way. And that heads toward yet another try to give France a 43-12 advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chiafani, what a scene that is, seeing her open up in space. She read that switch line beautifully, switched under right at the last second, tucked the ball under the right wing, and off she went. Such a brilliant, balanced runner, Chiafani.
If my memory serves me well, at the World Cup Sevens, she was the one that got free against Australia right at the end, correct? That was the dagger against the Aussies.
Yeah, that's right. She is a lethal player, and once she's in space, she's very hard to stop, as we saw then.
A junior shot putter, discus thrower, and hammer thrower. Doesn't really have quite the build you would think of those events, but I'm guessing when you're that tall and that high and you're letting it go, you get some extra distance from up high. (45-12), France with the lead, 11 seconds to go, and Fiji still trying to get one more. As one of the Fijians very slow to get up right at the 10-meter line. There's your horn, so this will be the last play, and holding on too long, and
just time off. Variante.
You have a combination of things here, I believe. First of all, it's the first event of the year, so you're not quite, you know, 100% where you want to be, say, mid-season. The other thing is it's pretty warm here today, actually, for Glendale, Colorado. It's probably 70-something degrees Fahrenheit, and you're at altitude. So factor all those things in, and I have no problem with them sitting down for a second over on the grass.
Yeah, it's a little bit bittersweet here. Get a few seconds to suck in the big ones and have a little breather, but good to see that she's up and walking off the field. Lewanikuala, the captain.
Back to play, and this will be the final play. And Chiafani can't find the handle on that one. To touch it goes, and mercifully, the ref puts an end to that one. 45-12, France, a victor over Fiji. And for France next, their next match will be a bit later against Canada. For Fiji, they will take on Ireland. Meanwhile, just around the corner here, it will be the United States and China to square off, as China started the day losing to New Zealand 45-0. And in the upset of the early day, England knocked off the USA 12-10. So if you're going to say there's a must-win here for the USA to keep some hopes alive, they're going to need to take care of China. You see the starting lineups here for Coach Chris Brown of the United States, and for Chad Shepard of China. Chad Shepard, a 40-year-old from New Zealand, Hawke's Bay and German coach, living in Beijing now, and onto the field come the United States in white and China in red. And the little DHL van is out there with the oval in it, and that's been plucked away by Nicole Heverland of the United States. A reminder, you're out there on the social media prowl, hashtag USAW7s, that's 7 with an S, or hashtag HSBC 7s. And joining me now in the broadcast booth, the Canadian international, Andrea Burke. And Andrea, the United States kind of played around a little bit and got burned against England, had their chances, certainly made enough mistakes to keep England in it and then to win it. And they need to really put down a message in this one.
I think for the United States in this game against China, they will be looking to really clean up and fine-tune their skills and their systems on the field.
We have an injury.
Losing that game, it was a tight game to England. They can't be happy with that. Past the USA coach, Chris Brown, in the hallway, and he certainly was looking a little bit frustrated with the outcome, because the first game was definitely the game to lose for USA, the only upset of the morning. And USA will be looking to fine-tune here and then finish on a high between this game and the final game of day one.
But I'll make sure I can hear you when I need.
At the World Cup Sevens, China finished 12th, losing that 11th place match to Fiji 38-0. The United States fell to Australia 24-14 in the bronze match. And our best wishes going out, leaving the field right now. She's upright, appears alert. But that is the captain, Sarema Lewanikuala of Fiji. I really think she was just out of gas at the end. And we're ready to go as Alev Kelter.
Ready to go?
Right at halfway, Beatrice Benvenuti, the referee from Italy, with a burst of the whistle, and the ball's in the air. Will it go 10? That's the question, and it will. And it's
touch
coming back
in front of a knock-on.
And so China making the first mistake. And Nicole Heverland.
Thought it was well read there
line
by Yan Mei-Ling. Had it gone off of the Americans' hands in the air, she would have been in a great position to collect that ball.
Heverland on the cross with Lauren Doyle. The bounce outside to Chris Thomas, and if she got it a little cleaner, it might have been interesting, but she had to take a step or two back to get that one. A hard charging Haverland. And holding on to the ball, it comes back the other way. And racing off with it is Hu Yu, the silver medal winner at the Asian Games in 2018. China, as I mentioned, Chad Shepard, their coach, the youngest team at the event. They won the Hong Kong Sevens qualifier this season, went 6-0, scored 24 tries and allowed just 8 tries. And that is why they have a spot here in Glendale, Colorado. Reaching back under there is the captain, Yan Mei Ling. And the takedown by Naya Tapper on the far side. Recycled by China. So China with, well, a couple of moves, but nothing that gets them really past the 22. And taken down is Gao Yuying.
Step back, one step back.
And a solid tackle by Haverland just inside the 22. And an opening. And Kelter stripping the ball away from Yuying.
Slots forward, advantage.
In the United States, Chris Thomas, if Thomas can get free, she can run for a while, but needs some help now as Kelter gets in there. Doyle spins it out, Tapper with it. Off to Gustaitis. Haverland looked at Emba for a sec. And Gustaitis gonna run. Abby knows the way to payday.
Well, it was just a matter of time before the USA was able to crack open the Chinese defense. Great tackle by Alev. Kelter was effectively the turning point for the USA to get the ball back in hand. Gustaitis looks for the offload, does a fantastic job keeping her feet out of contact and getting some points on the board.
Gustaitis, who was so impressive at the World Cup Sevens in the air on the restarts, a high school hoop player, part of the USA contingent at the Women's Rugby World Cup in 2017, the University of Maryland product, has the USA on the board and a 7-0 lead. And Kelter with the restart. You just knew, Andrea, after a while, as Gustaitis there once again with some mitts in the air. The way that China was down at this end, really not getting much further than just past the 22. If they made a mistake, and they did eventually, turning the ball over, it was going to be very advantageous for the USA.
Well, even though China is one of the lower ranked teams on the circuit right now, I really have to point out like the finesse that they do have in their skills. USA kept their shape on defense and effectively was able to push them back without the ball. You see the USA with the press defense here, just really getting into the face of the Chinese.
And this Chinese squad, last year, they only went to one World Series event, 8th at Japan. Lost to England 36-5 to finish things up. But at times,
get back right.
Technically, they can be very, very accurate, very daunting when you see them moving the ball around. Sometimes when it comes, I think, to the physical aspects, they need a little growth in that department, as taking it over the captain, Yan Mei Ling. Now we got ourselves a break, and look, China got some long legs and gonna stretch them out as Wang On Yu check that, it's the 9, Ruan Hung Ting, gonna go across and I'm not sure if he touched it down, she touched it down or just laid on top of it. Either way, it's 5 points.
Just great work by China, taking the defense to the outside, hard step on the inside, and that is all she needed to get the space through this hard-pressed American defense. Everybody on the field is tired right now, and there she is, number 9, Ruan with the tying try. This game is not over. USA,
it's all even.
Tie game. You know, even though, again, China is coming in as one of the lower-ranked teams, they're very well drilled, and they are putting in a ton of effort into every phase.
Ruan's going to have a seat for a second. I think she is completely out of gas. You saw her when she got loose. She is 5'11" or 180 centimeters, and she gets those legs stretched out. She made a pretty good stride toward that goal and was able to get 5 points, and then the conversion got things even at 7. So the United States finds itself very late in the first half, all even with China.
5 meters. Crouch.
There's your horn, so this will be the last play of the first half. And an even match so far, score-wise. Pass off the mark. The captain goes back to get it. Over the top goes Tapper.
Stay back in this rock.
Coming back in to clean things out. Shen Ying Ying. And then Wang. And losing that one to the roar of the crowd. And then coming across Ilona Mar, wearing the 2 into the game, dragging one down. Nice move here by China. Got something going on the outside, and the cross, if she can get free, taken down.
Holding.
And holding on to the ball too long.
Holding.
So the penalty awarded to the United States.
Good.
I know it's the second game for both teams, but they look kind of tired here as you take another look at the takedown there. And the flick back. Oh, and the nice grab by China to get it back the other way. The knock on, and that puts an end to the first half with the United States and China even at 7.
We have a game here in Rugby Town, USA.
And the United States, which got dropped by England 12-10 in the opener, now finds itself in quite the battle with China all even. Chris Brown in the huddle with his squad out on the pitch.
What's up?
Communicate more when that player, tell them to encourage them to have a go.
What are we doing the whole time at the moment? Why are we defending the whole time? No, tell me the reason. You know the reason. What are we doing around our THA? How many people are tackling at the moment? 1 person. 2. So who doesn't have a clear opportunity to turn it over? We ain't good enough there. So then you're defending, getting tired, and then we get the ball, we're already buggered. So please, 1 person make their tackle, you get your alignment right, then we've got a hunter. Ladies, enough's enough. It's time to get hungry. It's time to show why you play this game. Please, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Respect that ball. Respect it. Here you go. USA 3, 1, 2, 3.
USA!
Let's play our game. Show the ball to the work.
Well, playing smart and conserving energy is such an important part of the game of sevens. And I think that's exactly what Coach Chris Brown is highlighting for the American side today. It's quite evident that both sides are quite tired. However, the extra effort that the Americans are putting into the rucks, they're just bleeding their energy here and there, is not giving them enough, leaving enough gas in the tank for them to turn this game around and open it up.
Not a whole lot of chat by Chris Brown. Asked some questions. They had the answers. We'll see if they have the answer to China in the second half of a game that is even at 7. This is the USA and China. After this one, New Zealand and England, then Russia and Mexico.
And credit to China, playing some good rugby, not a lot of errors, and this is something that you can definitely expect from such a well-drilled side, regardless of their inexperience on the World Series.
Loading it up on the right side and heading down there. Emba in the air with the grab and got a pretty good hit by Yang Min. And away goes Ilona Mar. Ilona Mar thinks she can outrun Chen Kiai, and I believe she can, at least over the line and down. Ilona Mar from Burlington, Vermont. Sweet syrup with 5.
There it is, just a little bit of an error on defense from China. Gives her the space to just put the pedal to the metal, drop the hammer, and slide it all the way in. Gives the United States a little bit more breathing room here, and hopefully Coach Chris Brown can do the same on the sideline.
Ilona Mar with a career in high school, some basketball, soccer, field hockey, and then found the rugby thing and was an All-American at Quinnipiac University. And a try scorer here in the match with China, the opening weekend of the HSBC USA Women's Sevens in Glendale, Colorado. The knock on, the scrum will go to
please don't leave your players on
the United States.
Put it down.
Well, there's great height there on that kick from Alev Kelter, and great height on the boost from the Chinese offense. I think the sun might have played a little bit of a factor in that one, falling a little bit short and creating the knock-on.
Kelter holding it out in front. Mar maybe on another run. It's a repeat. It's a Mar.
That is a strong, magnificent fend from Mar. Number 6, Wang from China, just can't compete with that. She is backing herself today, 2 for 2, just taking it straight up. It's really hard to score tries if you're not running up and down the field. You can only play a lateral game for so long.
Ilona Mar, with her second of this match, also had a try against England in the opener. And it's the United States out in front of China now, 17-7. Just over 4 minutes to go. Bill Seward, Andrea Burke, and the kick on the restart flies into touch, and so it will be China's ball at midway.
China will be relieved to have the ball back in hand and take a little bit of a break from the bashing defense of Ilona Mar, for example.
Time is off, we have subs.
And off goes the Chinese captain, Yan Meiling.
Time back on.
And into the contest, Yang Feifei. Yang Feifei was part of that bronze medal winning Youth Olympics in 2014 squad.
Stay up.
And she is big there on the counter, but
run away, White.
Into the contest for the U.S., where in the 8 is Jordan Gray. And Gray with the takedown on Chen.
Stay on your feet, White, stay back.
Spun back outside. Yang reverses. And we might have a card here. Gonna reach for one, yeah.
Want to intercept, risk and reward. You got the ball in front.
Yeah, that's the call. Went after the ball, did Kelter, and got the yellow card, so zero tolerance, the phrase being used, and there was 0 there as Kelter goes off for a couple minutes, and China with a chance in the corner. They complete that pass, and Ruan Hung-Ting cannot get things done.
Leave the ball, leave the ball.
Ball already to the ground. Marr came out of there almost looking for another, and getting closer now is China.
Is a rock still?
Referee Benvenuti says still a ruck, and you can't walk out of there with the prize.
As a player, it's so important to be listening to the commands and the cues of the match officials. That's an unforced penalty right there.
So the United States down a player and trying to remain strong in front of that try line, but stepping over is going to be Hu Yu. Very close, and probably going to take a look. Let's listen in.
We want to check. Okay, we're going to check. Please, Kino, can you check for me?
Referee Beatrice Benvenuti. Another look.
Bia, it's Kino here. You may award the try. You may award the try.
You may award the try. Thank you very much.
And so Hu, the 19-year-old, made her debut in Japan last season. She goes across, carrying some baggage with her, but gets another try for China.
China closes the gap, takes the A defender to the outside, steps back on the inside. Chena Emba almost had a second-ditch effort as the cross-cover defense, but it was too little, too late for the try score, and we have a game within 3.
And that's with 1:40 to go. And the restart for China. And the United States still short a player because of the yellow card to Kelter. Going back and making the grab was Elena Olsen, who's into the contest wearing the 9. Nia Tapper on the outside. Nia Tapper with a boom and a bang and a couple more yards, but she goes to touch, and that's not good as the turnover now to China. Still playing with 6 is the USA. And if you're going to commit to that ruck, you better get in there and get it, because if they get it out, it could be Green Acres.
Dennis and play ball. Win this ruck! Win this scrub!
Kelter returns.
Match official Beatrice Benvenuti is just saying the ball is unplayable in the ruck. Ball is being awarded, scrum is being awarded to China. I have to say, outstanding tackle by Chen on Nia Tapper to create that initial turnover.
Back at full strength is the U.S., and out pops the ball, and Kelter from the sin bin to the try line and beyond. Alev Kelter for the USA.
Try for the United States.
Former hockey player Alev Kelter is known for that quick step, that quick change of direction, barely even noticeable from some positions on the field. And she is now playing a hurry-up offense, taking a quick tap. USA is looking to get more and more points on this board to push them through into the Cup round on day 2.
Now, she had such disappointment not being able to play in the World Cup Sevens with an injury, and now back at full strength, headed to the sin bin there for a couple of minutes, but when she came out, she certainly more than made up for her time off. And the kick a little long, so China will have the ball at halfway. No time remaining. Last play, down by 10 is China. But they'd like to put another one on the board, make it look even better, as Brown with the takedown on Chen. Stepping back out is Hu, and Hu. Little show, little go. Nia Tapper with the tackle. See if they go, nope, not blind side. Gonna go to the wide side, and Chen. Off to Gao.
Step back.
Flung into the air. Off the foot it goes, and a pretty good chase. Tapper better move. Nia Tapper back there, can't scoop it up clean, and that's going to be a try for China as Liu Xiaoyan gets in there for the 5.
China staying in the game, finally recognizing the open space behind the flat 7-up defense from the States. Nia Tapper just having a really tough time handling that ball, and as she should, there was 3 attackers coming down hard on her.
I was wondering what it was going to take to get a yoo-hoo out of you, and there it was, as the United States holds on to a 24-21 victory over China. Coming up, New Zealand and England getting ready for their Pool B showdown.
Well, second game for these two teams. Sarah Goss leading out the New Zealand team. Tui, Woodman, Williams, Blythe, Nathan Wong and Brazier will start for them in co-commentary. Former Australian representative for Sevens, Tiana Penatani. Tough one for England first up. There's their starting lineup.
Yeah, that's right. Claire Allen, Emily Scarrett, Deborah Fleming, Abigail Brown, obviously the captain, Emma Uren, Helena Rowland and Holly Atchison. Keep your eyes on Emily Scarrett. She's probably one of their strongest and most experienced in the side. They'll have a real height advantage with her kicking to her off the restarts. They had a promising start, pipping USA, the host nation, in their first pool match. So that's good. They'll be rolling off the back of that confidence, but it's hard to look past this New Zealand outfit.
Yeah, current referee of the year, Joy Neville, in charge of this one. There she is there. She'll be loving this in the sun here in Glendale. Good crowd coming in too to support their team. They've just seen their home side just beat through against China. But now it's all about England, New Zealand, traditional rivals in all forms of the sport.
Okay.
Abigail Brown there, the captain for England, ready to get us underway. And it's going to be Holly Atchison up. Looks like it's going to be short, so mistake straight from the kickoff from England. This is something they definitely can't afford.
No, that's right, especially against a side like New Zealand. They'll capitalise on every single error that England makes.
Kelly Brazier just so integral in these parts of the game. It's got to be Nathan Wong on the ball. Brazier to her right. Williams to her left. She goes to Brazier. Wraps around. The bounce back out and they hit the short ball switch. Bit of confusion there from New Zealand. Knocked back though by Tui. Fortunate as Brazier now on to Niall Williams. Williams goes across field. Late cut in. Portia Woodman had a little peek up and turnover there. Scarrett's the one on the ball. Cleared by Fleming across the face. England with a little weight switch, but read well by Goss. Driven back is Uren. Aitchison now out to Rowland. He drops a deep pass in. Allen gives it out to Scarrett. Some good footwork. So strong in the tackle of Scarrett. Ruby Tui in the midfield, but it's some good strong counter-rucking from Portia Woodman.
Keep going.
One period of play here. England in charge. Try to hit the ball up, but that's Dean gone back. New Zealand react quicker. Sarah Goss picks the ball up. No sweeper involved for England, so 7 up in the line. Going backwards now. There's a bit of space for Michaela Blythe. One-on-one. Uses the swerve. Does Michaela Blythe. The defence can't come in. Abigail Brown and Emma Uren just smoked. First try, New Zealand.
A few jitters in these first few minutes of the first half from both sides. Some unforced errors there, dropping the ball, passes that are going to ground, but what a finish here from Michaela Blythe, and it's the inexperience there from the debutante Emma Uren, who just over-tracked on the outside, allowing that space to open up slightly for Michaela Blythe to bounce off her right foot and straight under the post. Great start here for Blythe.
It came from a turnover as well from England in their own half. Picked up by Goss. Michaela Blythe, the reigning World Women's Sevens Player of the Year. Coming up on 5th of all-time try scorers, 92, not far away from the 3 figures. This England's team Had a tight win first up against a very tough USA team. Now how important it is the second game. New Zealand equally so. Nathan Wong takes it up, but nicely lifted and taken down there by the captain Brown. Fleming strong over the ball. Good counter ruck from Portia Woodman. A lot of pressure on. But England good enough to get it up in their own 22. Scarrett on the outside with the late cut. She's so good. She's a centre in the 15-a-side game, showing her power. Good offload as well. Unfortunate. Claire Allen just couldn't control that one.
It was a good, strong carry there from Emily Scarrett. We mentioned her pre-match, but just those unforced errors are really shooting both teams in the foot. Unnecessary miscommunications, getting in each other's space. Awesome carry here from Scarrett, beautiful offload, and that just needed to go to ground rather than get that ball away to Claire Allen. Just take it into contact, reset and recycle for the next phase.
Yeah, 50-50 ball on the inside there, hard to take. So now great attacking opportunity for New Zealand. Midfield scrum, Brazier directly behind. Nathan Wong to feed. Easy ball, 3-on-2 if they can manipulate it. Brazier decides not to go wide to Blythe, sets it up. Now she offloads. Into the midfield where Tui gives a nice pass to Woodman. First time Woodman's had ball in hand and a bit of space. Portia Woodman continues to take it to new levels. Her 4th try of the tournament, her first one in this game, Portia Woodman.
They make it look so easy, New Zealand. They swing it to one edge, bring it back to the next edge, and it's Portia Woodman. All class here, breaks one tackle. And you know she's head down and all the way to the line. Excellent stuff here, 4 tries for Woodman.
Where she's so good, and there's a good shot of her there, is that acceleration through the hole, which what gets her, or makes it able to beat those defenders.
That's right, and even if you do go low on a player like that, you get bumped off when she's got her knees pumping. She's so hard to tackle, and you've really got to be one of the best tacklers in the game to be able to get a wrap around those big legs.
Nathan Wong with the conversion too. So New Zealand with the maximum. Fleming ready to lift their captain Abigail Brown. Did well the first time, or the last time Nathan Wong went this way. Decides to go to the left. Variation from the kickoff for New Zealand. Nice chase by Blythe. Competition in the air.
Thank you. Not in a realistic position to catch the ball. Penalty only.
That was a nice big contest in the air between Scarrett and Michaela Blythe. Unfortunate penalty there for Blythe, but the call was that she wasn't in a realistic position to catch. I think that's a fair call. Scarrett had her arms high in the air.
Yeah, Scarrett just a tick under 6 foot tall, so she had the physical advantage there, and she got the penalty for her team to go across field. Defense sliding across to New Zealand. Fleming now, the top try scorer for England on the last series. Takes it into the setup. Clean distribution. You see every time Scarrett gets the ball, she's taken into the physical contact, but Ruby Tui, I thought she had it.
You're good. They need to roll.
Quick tack by England. New Zealand, their back turn now. Obviously, the physical approach is the one that they're using at the moment. Goss over the ball, supreme in this department. Got to be a penalty, and it is. Goss so aware. Scarrett had her back turn. So fit as Sarah Goss. Quick distribution, maybe going to touch forward. Play on, says the referee.
I'm happy. I'm happy flat.
Now New Zealand get behind the ball. Tui shapes the kick. She's never going to kick that one. Bounces back the bind to Goss. Williams now out to Blythe. Blythe's the one with the gas and the step. Good comeback in defence though from Allen. That's the tackle that needed to be made. Dive pass there from Williams. Straight give from Goss, the captain. Tui with the late cut with Nathan Wong. Dummies on the outside, but Scarrett's up to the task. Gets to her feet, challenges as well.
Straight to ground.
That's awesome stuff again there by Scarrett. Catching Ruby Tui with her hands on the ground.
Here's the gas from Fleming on the outside of Portia Woodman. That is straight speed on this occasion. It's Deborah Fleming who comes up trumps.
Isn't that a great scene? Top try scorer from last season, Deborah Fleming. First try this weekend, but coming up against Portia Woodman. It's not so often that we see Woodman come off second best. That's terrific there from Fleming to back herself and be confident up against a player like Woodman. perfect finish to this half for England.
She'll get a lot of confidence beating the best player in the world, that's for sure, Deborah Fleming. But it all came down to Scarrett's turnover at the breakdown. The result was Deborah Fleming gets the 5, gets England back into this one. They will trail New Zealand at the half, 14 points to 7.
And then we don't get the threes quick enough, okay?
Just on that, because we're coming to that rush, so let's take that extra metre, give ourselves depth. Who cares if we have to go back to go forward, okay? And let's just, when someone makes a line break, let's bust us to get there, okay? That's our opportunity. Let's go. So girls, this is our game.
5 on 3, 1, 2, 3, 5!
Great to hear the experience of Kelly Brazier in that halftime huddle for New Zealand, talking about placing emphasis on how they need to really get in their support line, support the players that make breaks, and to get a little bit more depth in attack. I feel like they've been quite flat in this first half, which is not really doing them any favours, so get a little bit more depth and create some time and space.
It really has been physical tussle, both teams know the importance of this one. A good kick by Nathan Wong. Portia Woodman, outstanding in the air. New Zealand straight on the attack from the kick-off. Ruby Tui using the step, now engages, bounce it off. So strong as Ruby Tui. Still going down to the 5-metre line. No halfback there, so Brazier comes in late. Nathan Wong has to drop back, gives it out to Fitzpatrick, who's onto the field now. The late cut by Fitzpatrick, and she absolutely bamboozles him. Sold. Thank you very much. I'll take 2. Teresa Fitzpatrick.
What a beautiful start to second half here from New Zealand. This is exactly what we're used to seeing from this side. It all started with the phenomenal take from Portia Woodman on that right edge, and then Ruby Tui with the strong carries, bumps off 1 and 2 and 3, and then it's Teresa Fitzpatrick that backs herself through that hole, but Michaela Blyde, who sold that decoy line, she switched under nice and late, forcing the defence to stick, make a decision, and that allowed the space to open up there for Fitzpatrick. What a play.
I love the reaction from Emily Scarrett too. She knew she bought a hook, line and sinker. Centre on centre in the 15s, these two players, Fitzpatrick and Scarrett, have played each other so many times in a 15er side, and, well, I'm sure she'll have a little talk to her after this. Still a long way to go, though, in this match, that's for sure. England have shown they can breach this New Zealand defence. Nathan Wong will go a little bit longer this time, just moving the pod, which separates from England. Around the captain. Unusual offload, there's the straighten. And the offload from Allen is intercepted by Woodman. Such a central figure, Portia Woodman this time. Twice she's got it done in defence. Fitzpatrick so strong. Ball away to Blyde. Oh, on the deck, that's a penalty. Oh, geez, no, she's behind, so it's play on. Kick in behind, another change up with the tactics from Brazier. Having to go back and clean up his role, and does well to go down on their ball.
Advantage.
Advantage New Zealand. Advantage Brazier as well. Can she fend off? She gives it up unselfishly to Portia Woodman, who continues to get 5-pointers.
Portia Woodman, 5 tries already this weekend in only 2 matches, but she's just doing her job. What really impressed me in that phase of play was the awareness from Kelly Brazier to see that there's no sweeper, put a little chip in, know who she's got on that right edge chasing, and then to support that and back up the play, offload it to Woodman there. That is beautiful, classy stuff from Brazier.
That was chased down by the captain, Sarah Goss. How many turnovers has she had already in 2 games at the breakdown?
I'd say minimum 5. She's all over the park, but teams know how lethal she is. She gets one little taste of that ball being out of the ruck, and she's all over it.
Looking very fit at the moment is the New Zealand captain, Sarah Goss, amongst everything. They just each it out a little bit more now, and just tell by the body language of the English team, just a little bit deflated. Nathan Wong with another kickoff, goes long again. Up nice and fast as Shakira Baker onto the field for New Zealand. And another turnover. Goss again. She's been an absolute monster in that department. Ruby Tui been very physical with her running. Isolated for a little bit, but able to get her knee down, so has to tackle release. New Zealand looking a lot more sharper now in the second half. Nathan Wong goes across field, late switch with Fitzpatrick. Thought she's going to give the inside ball. Has the composure to set it up.
Come on.
Nathan Wong out and out to Baker. Great commitment by both teams here, but England win it. Timely turnover. It was Aitchison doing some outstanding work there for the women in white. They needed that, but still under a lot of pressure. Very flat in their attack too, so it's all one-up stuff at the moment.
Released.
Easy for the defence of New Zealand.
No, not a second time.
No one in behind,
Rock.
so the long kick is an option here, England, if they can see it.
Accept.
Decide to use their pass. Oh, it's a late one too, but it's a nice hold. That was Rowland with the nice line. Now Fleming again, the one with the gas. Here comes Michaela Blythe across the field. Love the matchup. Fleming goes to the corner. Blythe, can she stop her? Yes, she does. Gets up as well. Michaela Blythe, turnover. That is absolutely brilliant stuff.
Isn't that phenomenal scenes there from Michaela Blythe? Fleming opening up through the middle of the field, but look at the pace from Blythe as she chases and makes a try-saving tackle, but not only that, she gets straight to her feet, straight over the ball and creates the turnover. That is class, pure class from Blythe.
Oh, that takes a lot too, to run that far on the angle against another speedster. She was absolutely spent. Minnie, they call her nickname. She come up huge on this occasion though.
That's right, and it's those efforts, leaving that all out on the field is what sets this team apart from so many. Doesn't matter whether it's a pool game or whether it's a final, it's the same effort every single game.
Well, she's chased Fleming there. Well, she's chasing these ladies 5th on the all-time try scorers. Fleming is absolutely spent. She's had a good game. And 9 times out of 10, you would say she is done and dusted. Love this matchup. 6 on 6.
I love it. There's nothing better than seeing the two matchups from the opposite teams run up against each other, especially in moments like this.
I actually thought Fleming had a nice timing on the Flem, but the ability to stick, that takes a lot of effort. You can see there, she's absolutely exhausted. And the coach says, you know what, tap the ball and stay on. Oh, she's from Taranaki, which is a rural area in New Zealand. They breed them tough. Now New Zealand in their own 22. Brazier with the step. Looking for the late switch. It doesn't come though, so they set it up. Strong run from Baker. Baker offloads. A lot of numbers coming out to Fitzpatrick. It comes out from the centre. Outside and wrap with Williams. Williams a nice time on the pass. Footwork by Trina Tetamaki onto the field now. Niall Williams goes to Blythe. Was waiting for Blythe to stay on the outside. And that was a tired grab there from Michaela Blythe, as you could expect. Delivers a pass, a nice 1-2. Baker, second woman in, has Brazier on the outside, but good turnover, much needed one for England. They go quick. Do the English, they need something real quick. Not going to win this game, and another turnover. Tetamaki getting that one on this occasion, not 10, so they'll go again. Let's have a little reset here.
They're certainly playing a high-tempo game, both of these sides, with the quick taps.
Well, Fata Simpkins, she's going to be on the ball. She's got supreme footwork, this young lady, and number 9. Can she flash it with Brazier? Look out for Niall Williams as well. They go the blind. Delay pass, nice two of them. Shakira Baker strong. She loves the contact, and Shakira Baker. And again, nice counter-ruck over the ball.
Stay.
Kwanzaa.
Always out.
Second time she's done that. She's been on the field. There's the hurdle for 4 times. So New Zealand will get the win, but had to work hard for this one.
Off your feet.
Taken quickly, England. Nice chip in behind. Good recognition, but Michaela Blythe trudging back. Can have 2 players on it from England, but Williams gets there in support of Blythe. I'm sure they'll just kick this one out and take the win. Tough fought one in the end for New Zealand. Good second half by the Kiwis, and they will take this one 28 points to 7.
Taking a look at referee Tyler Miller, getting ready for the get-together between Russia and Mexico, as this is a Pool A matchup. Russia started the event with a 34-5 victory over Spain, sort of a surprise of the margin of victory, we were saying. And Mexico, well, they started with a big donut on the scoreboard and a 53-0 loss to Australia. But really, it's Australia, and they have some skills, some amazing ones at that. Bill Seward, Andrea Burke, and Russia getting set to go. What do you think about this one?
Well, I think Russia has had a fantastic start to their 2018 season. I expect them to come out hard here against Mexico.
This is a Mexico squad. Simon Pierre, the New Zealander, taking over for Robin McDowell. They were 16th seeded in the World Cup Sevens, and they lost in that 15th place game to Papua New Guinea 32-0. First World Series appearance for Mexico on this, the HSBC World Rugby Women's Sevens Series 2019. Yes, it's upon us. Outside it goes to Noritsina, and Noritsina can't get away from the defender. Taken down, recycled, and the push away by Marina Kukina back toward the center of the field. Scooped up and given to Arina Byastrova. And Byastrova now back with it. And Byastrova down Broadway, a little move, and that's going to reward her with the first try of the match.
Great work by Byastrova, who made her Russia debut in Dubai in 2015, a veteran to the squad, was able to crack open the Mexican defense. They were doing what they needed to do for a while, but just no match for the quick inside step of Byastrova.
And Arina, the twin sister of teammate number 3, Anastasia Shestakova. And yeah, sometimes it makes it a little harder on the announcers to try to figure who's who. And that's why you go to the numbers. And right now the numbers say the lead going to Russia, 7-0 over Mexico in Pool A play.
Day 2 here under the heat and the altitude of the Glendale, Rugby Town, USA. This is where the fatigue starts to set in. This is where all of the hours in the gym and on the field preparing for these games really start to pay off.
And you can tell on some of the earlier matches as the turnover comes Russia's way, and Kukina outside. Noritsina rolls around, gets it off to the captain, Mikaltseva. Komitova, no, the cutout pass instead to Byastrova, and Byastrova's in yet again.
And Mexico just playing a little bit tighter on defense. This is something that you might see from the less experienced teams not being able to cover as much ground, and what the opposition in this case needs to do, which Russia has been able to do here, is just to be able to stretch the passes a little bit more, get the ball to the outside of that outside defender, and then it makes it look like easy tries for Bystrova there.
I think we're going to see some easy tries as the day goes on, because this is just the second match for most of these teams. And on that second match, we've already seen some really winded athletes out there. You get to that third part, and let's take it even further. You get to day 2 tomorrow, and you get to that second or third game, and you're going to find out who's fit and who's not, and who can handle the altitude. On the restart, Mexico, well, just plucking it out of there is Baranchuk, and Komitova to Mikaltseva, and the captain says, I'm over and down.
Well, Mexico is a young team on the circuit. Just standing up there, reaching in the tackle, makes it really easy for the captain, Mikaltseva, to take it in.
Time off.
In order to make those tackles on such a hard runner, the defense really needs to work hard to get their feet as close as possible to the ball carrier. And once the feet are in close, you can drop the shoulder and drop the ball carrier.
Yeah, Mexico has some growing to do at the World Cup Sevens. 57-0 they lost to New Zealand in the opener, then 59-0 against England. South Africa put 34 on them, and then Papua New Guinea 32. Mexico unable to score a try, but they're getting a chance here in their first appearance on the HSBC World Rugby Women's 7 Series, and Komitova is going to score yet another try for Russia. Byzat Komitova.
It's really hard for a lesser experienced team to be able to contend against an aggressive attack like Russia is bringing on here. And especially against such a superstar athlete like Komitova.
And the conversion attempt pushed a little wide. It'll keep it at 26. With just over 90 seconds to go in the first half. Russia out in front 26-0 and ready for yet another restart.
What's exciting about the 2018-2019 HSBC 7 Series this year is that it's an Olympic qualifying year for the 2020 games. The top 4 teams will get the golden ticket with an automatic qualifier into the Olympics. The easy street, if you will, and then for the others, it will be the regional qualifiers.
You get the regional qualifiers, you get the host, Japan will have one of the spots, and then there will be a repechage, and that will decide the final spot of who goes to the Olympics in sevens rugby. And quickly calling her own number is Anna Baranchuk. Picks it up, goes across, puts it down, and has Russia out in front 31-0.
And it's exactly this sort of attack going straight up the field. Very difficult for a less experienced defense without putting a shoulder into the tackles there. On the replay, there's a lot of arms reaching at shoulders and reaching at jerseys. It's just too hard to take strong runners down when the arms are reaching and it's not the lower body doing the work in the tackle.
And you're reaching and you're tired and you're not gaining on anybody. You're not closing in, so you're trying to reach from almost a fallback position.
It's kind of a double-edged sword. You're tired, so you stand up and reach, but if you just put in the extra little effort in the moment, finish the tackle, the amount of work that it will actually take is much less and will be much less fatiguing.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
I've had many a years to learn that lesson.
Mexico, first time outside the 22. Hey, looky here. Playing in a whole new area as Karina Landros, I should say Landeros, the captain, part of that Rugby World Cup 7 squad. The turnover goes back to Russia and Kristina Saradina. We saw her score earlier in the win over Spain a couple of times, and she has yet another try.
Really nice, tight dummy line coming off the outside attack here. A little bit of a Y line. There's the dummy, show and go, and it just opens up enough space for the try.
Got a tough conversion attempt from an angle, and I'm not thinking that's going to make it, but we have reached the midway point of the contest, and it is Russia out in front of Mexico 36-0. And Russia already a win over Spain. Next up for the Russians after this one will be a get-together with Australia on the final match of day one. Andrei Kuzin, the 39-year-old former 15s captain, 78 caps for Russia. He's in the huddle with his crew.
Если дальний, всем на 10-метровую борьбу должны забирать с первого темпа. Хорошо? По игре забирайте, перетаптывайте мяч. Если есть люди, отдайте пас в глубину, перейдите, там будут свободные люди у вас. Поиграйте пошире, почувствуйте пас. Вы просто получаете, ничего не видите и начинаете просто ломиться. Вот они не захватывают. Команду сыграйте. Хорошо? Предпоследнюю надавливают. На передний там можешь сыграть. Договорились, давайте. 7 минут, девочки, работаем.
Давай, девки, давайте команду. Перестроим. 3-4. Россия!
Well, nothing to yell about from Andrei Kuzin for a 36 lead over Las Serpientes. And something for when a team is at this stage of the game, the lead, really being the dominant team on the day, it's about staying finessed in the tactics, in the technique, not dropping down to a level of a lesser skilled team.
If you were imagining what Simon Pierre's saying in the Mexican huddle, it's a rough first half. This is when the coaching part comes out. This is when you got to come through.
Definitely. I mean, like it was a rough first half. There's nothing that Mexico cannot correct here. I think simply staying connected on defense, getting aggressive in the tackles, really believing in the ability to sink a shoulder, to finish the tackles, can really shut down the Russian offense.
Well, I'm guessing they're going to the left. Consider they're lined up pretty much that way. They better hope it somehow doesn't get back out here, because waiting out here is Noritsina if they can spin it out wide. And guess what? Somebody's going to go running for some yardage, unless busting through is the captain, and Mikhaltseva is straight down the middle. And the captain to make it a double-double with cheese, the touch.
Well, Daria Noritsina was waiting out there on the wing, but Captain Mikhaltseva said, not today, I will take it myself. A nice power step off of the outside to slice up Las Serpientes up the middle of the field, and now it's just off to the races, an opened up track meet.
And the flex. I mean, we're getting kind of used to that now. That's been quite a few times today, as she was earlier with England. With Spain.
She's almost getting a bicep workout just by scoring tries today.
Yeah.
5.
Like doing a superset, and she doesn't even need a spotter.
Bit of a gun run.
On the restart, Landeros able to corral that one in, but then the turnover, and Mikaltseva right side to Lushina, and then racing in from the outside is Daria Noritsina. We talked about her earlier being on this left side. She's ambidextrous, and she's really fast too, and that helps being out there.
Bit of a dangerous player with all of those qualities, wouldn't you say? But like, check out the Mexican defense here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders side by side can almost hold hands. A little bit of defensive shape. Had they been able to pick their, and this is something that comes with experience, pick up your head, notice who you have on the outside. There shouldn't be any less than 3-4 meters in between each defender, and it makes for a much more difficult try, a much more difficult run-in on the outside. If Mexico can start to spread their defense and drop their shoulders into tackles, it might be a little bit of a different game.
I got to thinking if you were in training too, you'd want to work on the restarts and being able to grab these, because you're going to see quite a few of them apparently, and they have not been quite adept so far at hauling them in, but they have this one, and holding on to the ball too long gives it right back, and zigging and zagging, and there was a knock on, and there might be a card here if there's
forward.
Nope, gonna be heading to a scrum.
The knock on, referee Tyler Miller is pointing in the direction of Mexico to be in possession of the ball for the scrum, and that's exactly what we're seeing here.
And the ricochet shot comes off, and getting a little deeper into trouble is Mexico, and Russia closing in, and
entry.
Side entry by Russia, and so away goes Mexico, and a chance for some breathing room out closer to the 22.
Let's get to your feet.
Didn't get to her feet, and a nice pass outside to Kolkova, and Snezhana Kolkova across for the try.
Really great vision there off the quick tap. Couple of defenders nice and tight, rather than doing the short tip line, just throwing the miss pass out wide, and where there's absolutely no one but the in-goal area.
And Kolkova, the only member of this Russian squad that wasn't at, as the post rejects that one, was not on the squad for the World Cup Sevens. So maybe making up for it a bit. The 24-year-old who made her tour debut in Japan in 2017.
And I think regardless of the score today, Russia versus Mexico, speaking to some of the athletes on the Mexico squad at the hotel earlier today, and they're just so excited to be here. To have the opportunity to play rugby sevens at the international level is not something that happens for many people. And I just think it's absolutely fantastic that this squad gets an opportunity such as this.
All right, they're outside the 22. They have not been across halfway yet, and they are down 53-0. I believe 61 is the high tide for a 61-0 shutout on the HSBC World Rugby Women's Sevens Series. And with 1:46 to go, Mexico trying to do everything it can to stay off the record books in that less than illustrious category.
Hands.
But Russia will have another chance here. And Lushina. A straight line across, and Lushina says, I think I got an opening, I got a fend, and I can go to the corner, but she hits the touch line, and so she gambled, she loses, and it'll be the line out to Mexico.
Well, what looked like was going to be a foot race was just turned into a fantastic last-ditch effort by #1, Michelle Farah.
Time on. Not 5, free kick. Not 5, free kick. Mark's here.
So not 5 meters on the line out, and
15.
the free kick to Russia. Going to reset the spot yet again, and the clock continues with 17 seconds left. Outside it comes. The takedown just a couple meters short. 10 seconds remaining. See if she goes blindside here. She does, and she's met with some resistance and a whistle. And once again, across goes Lushina right at the horn. And they will award the try to Daria Lushina. And a chance with a conversion here of Russia hitting the 60 mark and being 1 point shy of the record for a shutout of 61-0.
Well, that's something that Daria Lushina has been so good for today, is the quick taps. They cannot rest off of those penalties.
So 58-0 will have to do it as Russia takes control of this match against Mexico. And coming up, Australia and Spain.
Sykes strides away, sidesteps left and right, and then fends off.
Hold it up for Sykes. Take it away,
Emma Sykes, she's touched the ball in just about every play Australia has had.
The skill, the decision-making, the ability, brilliant from her.
The show that go the inside line, what a try. Sykes coming up with some magic.
Yeah, Emma Sykes definitely one to watch in this next pool game between Australia and Spain in Pool 8. For the Spanish, going to be Perez Neda, Bravo, the captain, Martinez, Urbina, Pla, the co-captain, Casado, and Echevarria to start for them. For Australia, Tiana Peritani, take us through their lineup.
So we've got Shani Williams starting, coming off the bench. Shannon Parry, her co-captain, on the bench. Samantha Treherne yet to make her debut. Yasmin Meeks, who's new on the series, and Dominique Dutoy, Polite, and Kaslik and Sykes as well. Young Sykes working alongside Kaslik, a young little halfback in the making. She has been phenomenal throughout last year, only made her debut in 2017, and working alongside Kaslik, you can see that she's learning from the master herself.
Well, Australia had a very handy win, 53-0 first up. Hey, what impressed you most about their first game?
What I liked was the attitude and the energy that they brought forward into that game against Mexico. Yes, Mexico is the invitational team in this tournament, but that didn't faze Australia. They rolled through the motions, got out, blew out the cobwebs, and really started with great momentum leading into this campaign.
As the two teams come on to field, there's the Spanish side there in their traditional red. Australia in their traditional gold. Now the Spanish, they lost against Russia 34-5. What do they need to do to really pressurise this Australian team?
Well, we know from the past, Spain are so used to relying heavily on Patricia Garcia, their captain, who's actually not here. So it's the likes of Barbara Pla, who is captain now. They need to step up and really take ownership. They're really good around the ruck, so they need to try and force Australia into contact. Australia don't like playing into contact. They like to play a wide game with the ball in hand. So if they can pin Australia on the ground, get some turnovers and hold on to that ball phase after phase, they'll give Australia a good run.
And you know better than most, because you would have played them before, but every team has their bogey side. It seems the Spanish are Australia's.
They do, because they're scrappy and they're fighters. They fight for absolutely everything, so they really get under your skin. They don't really play a structured game. So obviously the likes of Australia, they know how to play structure, and when you've got a team like Spain that just play off the cuff, that can really throw a spanner in the works.
Goal. Very converse game plans. Davita Rocco Verini in charge of this one, very experienced referee. Been both on the men's now, full-time on the women's circuit. Gets us underway. Game 2 for these two sides in Pool 8. Nice kick-off.
Backwards by goal.
By Emma Sykes. Australia been so good at the restart. And get another one. Dutoy with the late cut with Sykes. An inside ball. Is it intentional knockdown?
Let's go.
Yes, it is. It's going to be down to 6 women already. Garcia will take a seat for 2 minutes.
It's unfortunate there for Garcia, but the rules are risk versus reward, and she went into that tackle with her arms out, knowing exactly what she was doing, trying to block that pass, resulting in a penalty and a yellow card.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Nice hard line round there by the co-captain Williams. Now Australia, slick passing. The double pump from Sykes, but she goes short. Nice distribution and a nice line by Traherne.
Not a bad way to make your debut at all, Sammy Traherne. First try, first touch of the ball. She's been instrumental for their 15s lineup with the Wallaroos earlier throughout this year. And she shows her skill as she shimmies her way through the defence there to get the first 5 points on the ball. Excellent stuff there from Traherne in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, congratulations. You'll always remember your first try in your national colours. Conversion is good from Sykes, but I love the nice delay. She had Kaslik on the outside, but that short ball to this young lady, and she smiles.
And she received a beautiful little double pump there from Sykes.
Do you remember your first try?
No, I can't say I do.
Can't be that long ago. You only just finished playing. Too many to count. Great to have Tiana Penatani, former Australian Sevens player, with us today. It's well directed, that game too, if I remember correctly.
I can't. Over.
A nice directed kickoff here. Again, Shani Williams way over the advantage line. Perfect ball for the Australians. Numbers on the outside. Remember, it's 7 on Sir Kaslik. Out to Sykes. She's got a player left over. Detroit it is, who stops and prompts a knock on and a let off for the Spanish.
Yeah, a little unforced error there from Emma Sykes. She didn't really look like she was ready for the ball. Needed to get a little bit deeper in that shadow pocket there behind Dom Dutoy. But Dutoy probably should have taken it into contact to recycle for Emma Sykes to swing it back to the left side.
Loving the new terminology been introduced here by Tiana Penatani. Shadow pocket. About the receiver. Sykes. That ball now the Spanish. First time.
Sit.
Really had ball with intent on attack. Good hit by the Australians. Well over the mark, though. They take it quickly to Spain. Through Casado. Very good in short spaces are the Spanish with those little offloads. Good run. 2 of them. Get them on the 40-metre line.
Offside.
Not onside and relieving penalty.
There's ill discipline there from Emma Sykes to not get onside. It'll give Spain a little bit of a breather, ready to reset and go again. Barbara Pla with ball in hand. She's an awesome player.
What that does too now, the Spanish are back up to their full complement, so limited damage, only 1 converted try. Still within reach. Skip jump and the kick him behind. Nice chase from Barbara Pla on the outside, but the ball will beat everyone. Sorry, that's Echevarria. Agree with the kick in behind?
Yes and no. It probably could have gone a little bit deeper to try and pin Australia down in their 22 at least.
That's that off-the-cuff play, exactly what you're talking about. Unstructured option there with a little kick in behind. Nice set play, using their strength, Australia, with these setups. Able to play it. Quick clean, and now they come from the blind side to the open. Numbers created. Sykes to the outside. The Chibaria, good on the tackle. Now that's okay. With the defence getting in behind, Bravo not able to take it. Australia are Kaslik now. Receives the pass. Good flat one she gives to. Strong defence on the outside. Fresneda on the tackle. Long period of play from Australia. Loose pass there by Kaslik. Popped up by Spain, now with an opportunity. Urbina, knee down, has to tackle, release Australia. Echevarria over quickly.
Backwards.
Oh, exhausting stuff for both teams.
Hands out, wax form.
Goes to the blinders, Garcia. Taken easily.
Entry.
Spain now can sense an opportunity, the big hole. Fresneda gives it to Echevarria, decides to go back where the defence is from Australia. Is this a turnover? Oh, nearly, couldn't keep her feet. Bravo takes it into the setup. Williams over the ball, and good reward. The back is turned in defence from Spain. It's Kaslik. She's run away from her support play, but she's strong enough. Looking to pass. Comes one-on-one with the sweeper. Wouldn't expect anything different from Charlotte Kaslik. That is a beautiful pass. And exploits the overlap, and Australia gets their second try. A hard work one at that.
The finishing touches done there by Ivania Polite. A nice little combination on that left-hand side between Charlotte Kaslik and Ivania Polite. But Australia did well to really hold their feet, try and go for the ball a few times at the ruck, but stay up on their feet and force that turnover. And it's Charlotte Kaslik, as you said, that saw the overlap, put her foot down, head down, and Ivania Polite was out wide to support her and to get over the line.
Well, their first game, they really didn't get tested defensively, Australia, but I'm sure Coach Neti, he'll be happy with his first half. So they've had to work hard, they've been tested, but on that occasion, the defence and the counter-act by Williams would be very pleasing for him.
Yeah, that's right. They, as you said, they didn't really get a big test when it came to Mexico, but so far so good in this first half, defensively and in attack.
Yeah, haven't leaked any points as yet on day one. Australia, Green onto the field, and Green lowering the shoulder. Spain will go quick. Is this Garcia Casado with the long run, but a lot of numbers chasing back for Australia. A huge line out if they can exploit it. They go short to Fresneda. There goes the halftime hooter. Another pop-up to Urbina. They have got numbers to burn if they can get it out. All it needs to go through their hands. Bravo with the drop. Missed opportunity. Aussie, Emma Sykes from defence straight into attack. Isolated.
No advantage, not
and that'll be drinks, and I'm sure a lot of these ladies will be looking for a bit of water. Well, some staunch defence in his last couple of minutes. Australia keep the score to 14 points to 0.
Vale, bien. Vamos a intentar anticiparnos un poquito más en ataque, ¿vale? Para sacar los balones de los puntos de encuentro. Si tenemos que dar 2 o 3 oportunidades, hay que hacerlo. Y hay que apretar a los árbitros, porque lo que no puede ser es que nos corren. Ok, hay que decirle, no se cogen golpes de castigo sin sentido, eso lo tenemos que decir. Hay que decírselo. ¿Vale? Vamos a intentar ir más rápido en los puntos de encuentro. En defensa está bien, ¿vale? Mucho bien las ayudas, hay que seguir trabajando. Oli, cuando te comunicas con tus compañeras, con tus compañeras, en el saque, en la otra de Yera, te ha pasado lo mismo 2 veces. ¿Vale? Os lo está diciendo vuestra compañera, seguimos las mismas normas. Ok, seguimos un poquito más. Vamos a meternos en partido y los puntos, ¿se ha acordado? Acordado los puntos. Va.
Puta madre, lleva 10 días, de aquí para arriba, de aquí para arriba. Puta madre, hostia, arriba, equipo, ¡Equipo! 7! Vale.
Emma Sykes here just jogging back. You highlighted her pre-game as one to watch, but what do you think Coach Manetti would have said to his ladies after their first half? Only 14-0 up.
Well, just having a look at those halftime stats there, they look almost identical, but it's the passes completed that really caught my eye for Australia 16 to Spain 6. And I think that's a real point of difference for Australia, is how they complete their attacking sets. And that could have been a point that Manetti would have raised at halftime. Just hold on to the ball, complete your attacking sets, and you'll have a look at the scoreboard and they'll be on top.
I just get the feeling that moment just before the half where the Spanish were hard on attack and weren't able to get the scores, going to come back to maybe bite them, not taking these opportunities against such a slick outfit as Australia. As you pointed out, Tiana, their skills are so supreme. I love their passing in particular, always right in front, hardly ever on the shoulders, so that just allows you to run on the ball and hit your set plays at full speed. Loading this left side, Australia. Green out by herself to the right. They go out the back door to Sykes. Passes it on. Back on the inside, Sykes.
Roll,
takes it in. Treherne there. Polite with the pass. Now out to Kessler. Will she give it to Green on the late cut? She does indeed. Green so strong through the legs. Elliot Green just making it look oh so easy. Decides to get into second gear. On for a minute, 1 try.
She's the flying Fijian, her first try this match, coming fresh off the bench, injecting that energy that Australia needs. I really like how John Manenti's using Elliot Green as a power player, as an impact player. And there's not many people that can run through a gap like that with 5 defenders in their midst. Elliot Green, she is a machine.
It's always nice too to get that first score after withholding defensively at the back of that first half, to get a start like that. Always confidence building. Well, you'd be confident if you had this lady on the outside here too, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. She's the insurance for Australia.
Well, all came down from a mistake from the kicker from the Spanish. Didn't go to 10. Australia good enough to convert. Sykes up nice and high with this kick. Geez, that's a nice kick off. Take him good
backwards.
Too. Controlled in the end by Polite. Passed out by Meeks. Spanish defence a little bit late getting there, but it forces Kaslik back on the inside. The late loop. Polite able to control it. Now they've got numbers on the outside. Sykes decides to put it to the boot. Strong chase on the outside. Head down. It's going to stay in play too. Can she control it? No. Spain through Barbara Pla, tracking back. Nice fend as well. Loose pass in her 22. Comes off in another 50-50 ball from the Spanish. She might get there in the end, and she will. It's going to be Dominique Dutoit.
Dominique Dutoit, another young gun. Great vision from her and Sykes to put that kick through, and Dominique Dutoit chasing on the outside. Just overran her mark a little bit, but it's the repeat efforts to get back up on the ground, go again, and then find the ball once it crosses the line. That's terrific stuff there from Dutoit.
Definitely got a nose for the try line. There's the youngster, only 21 years of age, Dutoit. She missed the Rugby World Cup this year in San Fran through injury with a broken collarbone. Great to see her back in full flight, not shying away from the contact either.
No, absolutely not. She goes in with full force, Dominique Dutoit. She's only slight as well, but she's got a big heart, loves the contact.
Dean Hayes onto the field chasing this one, another supreme kickoff. Just hesitated a bit. Did Polite, so Spain able to get this ball. The stopping. Trying to go on the outside was Barbara Pla. I like that goes to cross field and then use their footwork to try and go in between defenders. It's okay. A turnover at the breakdown from Australia. Been very good in that department today. Dutoit for a second occasion. Decides to go on the outside, fakes in and then gives the loose pass. Still controlling the ball though. Defence forces Australia back on the inside. It's going to be Sam Traherne who gets her second in this match.
Some terrific stuff there from Sammy Traherne to make something out of nothing. There was not much doing there. She looked left. The defense from Spain had rushed up, put her outside players under pressure. So she decided to just take it in herself, whether she took it into contact or headed for the line. It paid off for her in the end.
One thing that stood out for me too in this game, even under pressure, good decision-making by this Australian team unit.
And they're very adaptable. That's what I like about their plays. It's enterprising play. They know how to adapt. They've got a structure to fall back on, but they like to play off the cuff footy. Eyes up and just read the play.
Got some very young players, but looking very comfortable at this level. They are. Traherne, the total we've seen before. Sykes has been immense. She kicks off again. It's another beauty. Off the back of the head of the Spanish player, so that's all go. Commitment shown by Urbina, the 17-year-old who's onto the field for Spain. Gets it wrong on that occasion. Taken quickly by Australia. Through Meeks. Again, the chip in behind. Green's going to chase this one. I think there's only going to be one winner. Oh, no, the bounce of the ball doesn't go her way. It just seems like Spain's been stuck in this area of the field for the whole second half. Green goes through, does some great work at the breakdown with the counter ruck. And another score for Australia. Oh, no. Well, to withstand it for the moment, it was Catholic.
Come back here. Hey, Kizzy. Kizzy, hey. Come back. Come down.
Bit of feeling still between these two teams.
Hang on.
That was some brilliant, urgent defence there from Spain to hold Kaslik out over the line.
Kaslik gives it out. Numbers up there, but in the end again, just too easy. Never going to be stopped from there.
A very well-deserved try there from Yasmin Meeks. She's been doing all of the groundwork around the ruck. She got that turnover a couple of phases before this try. So very well-deserved there from Meeks. This being her 4th tournament, so inexperienced, but certainly doesn't show through the way she plays.
Another one of the younger brigade coming through for Australia. To see the defender there, the young Urbina, going down low with a physical mismatch. Well, this lady was always going to win that. Game is done. Australia, another handy win for them, 2nd in a row. 40 points to 0, haven't leaked a point whatsoever as yet on day 1. Looking for 5, maybe 7 more. The Spanish now, can they get off the 0? They had their opportunity at the end of the first half, weren't able to convert, and well, Australia really put the foot on the throat. No, geez, there's some heavy contact.
High tackle.
Inadvertent high tackle there. Score 40 points to 0 to Australia. Spain one more opportunity. As soon as the ball goes dead, that'll be game over. Australians will be looking to keep it to 0, that's for sure. Second wave coming through for Spain. Get it wide now, Green. Misses the tackle. The Spanish finally in the Australians' half through determined run by Dominguez Sanchez. Good line out too, but they decide to take the short route for Urbina. The young lady, 17 years of age, is pulled down in a desperate tackle. They've got numbers to the right if they can shift it. The Spanish, Algar's absolutely screaming for it. Oh, a little bit too individual from the Spanish. Garcia. Never going to win that battle. Wrong option. Kaslik straight onto the ball and straight to Green. He's been physical for the start of this one. Flings the ball out the back and just kicks it over. Job done.
Ball in touch.
Full time. Australia take another good win. It's going to be 40 points to 0 against the Spanish. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a breather. We'll see you in 30 minutes. Right back here at Infinity Park in USA.
Gracias.